Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, and it is our first community meeting for the month of November. For those of you who are watching your clocks, tomorrow makes 1 month since Tanzu Community Edition was released to the general public, and we are so excited to have you here. A couple notes before we begin. This is a public recorded meeting that is published on YouTube. So for those of you who are working on things that might be proprietary for your companies, please hesitate. Do not share them here in this meeting. Again, we're posting these on YouTube, so anything that you feel is that is super specific to your companies that you shouldn't share, please keep it to yourself. All right, that said, thank you to everyone who's watching the recordings as well. We're averaging about 230 views per community meeting, which is amazing. So for all couple hundred of you that couldn't make it to this meeting, we appreciate you watching. And if you have any comments, feedback, anything you'd like to see, let us know in the comments or hit us on the Slack channel or however else you've been reaching out to us. The objective for this meeting is to give the community updates about what's going on for Tanzu Community Edition. Everything that we're giving here is going to be more of an announcement. We're working from an agenda as a community meeting, as opposed to our office hours, which are more open formats where you all can bring your problems to us and allow us to help you with them. So that said, we want to start with a few announcements. The first announcement I have, we want to welcome Gary Ng. Gary is going to be joining us as a product designer focused on improving the experience of using Tanzu Community Edition. He'll work alongside me with all of you to understand what's working in Tanzu Community Edition and what should be improved. He'll likely reach out in Slack to get to know more about how you're using TCE and to work with you on proposed solutions. He's joining us from VMware's Tanzu Supply Chain Tools group, where he worked with open source projects like Harbor, Notary, and Cosign. He's also a contributor to CNCF's TAG Security Supply Chain Security Working Group. So everyone, please make Gary feel welcome. We are so glad to have them joining us here. The next announcement that I have for you all is how to get swag. It has been a question that has come up over and over again. I am pleased to announce to you that we do have the systems in place now to be able to send you swag. And what we want to do is incentivize you as a community participating with Tanzu Community Edition. So that said, how you can get swag. If you have contributed code to Tanzu Community Edition, we are extremely grateful. All you need to do is submit a link to your PR that was merged into the repository to my handle in the Kubernetes Slack workspace. We'll get you sorted. I've seen so many of you building and sharing amazing projects that you've been working on. And the issue that we have in Slack is that it's very temporal. It's hard to see things after they've gone up. So we want to encourage you to put them in our show and tell. And if you put them in our show and tell, you just open a new discussion inside of the discussions tab in the repository and we'll select the show and tell there with a link to what you've done, and we'll make sure to get you out a t-shirt. Yeah, so if you've submitted any PRs to the repository, whether they be code or docs, please hit me up. If you have created some cool content that you shared in the channel, please also share it in the show and tell, and we'll make sure to get you out some swag. And if you will introduce yourself in the GitHub thread that we have for introductions, we'll randomly choose one person a month and get them out some swag as well. And then for the folks that we notice who are continually active in our Slack channels and GitHub repos, this is a lot more flexible, mushy, harder for us to measure, but we are watching and appreciate your participations. The next announcement. We have Thanksgiving here in the United States coming up, so we will not be having office hours on November 24th. And then the last thing that I want to do is part one of our community shoutouts. Yeah, we couldn't do this without you, so I wanted to say thank you to a few people. First of all, for being really active in our Slack channel, answering questions and asking great ones. I wanted to thank Karupia and Karthik, who've been just amazing. Every time I come on the channel, I've been so encouraged to see how much participation there's been. I want to also give a special shout out to Carlos, who's here on our meeting, for writing an amazing blog about getting TCE installed on AWS. Thank you so much. That is great. And for being our first poster in the show and tell. Thank you for getting that kicked off for us today. And I also wanted to thank, we had a YouTube video of a vSphere installation or Tanzu Community Edition, which premiered on the day of release, from Michael Cade over at Veeam. And I want to say thanks to them too. So thank you all for being a part of our community and helping make it what it is. And John's going to give some more shout outs a little bit later on in the meeting. Speaking of John, I want to go ahead and pass it off now to our engineering updates. So John, it's all you.
Sure thing, no problem. Can you guys see my screen okay? Great.
Yep, looks good.
Cool, welcome everybody. I'm stepping in for Josh, he's out right now. But yeah, V010 is happening and the engineers have been burning that down. Code freeze for that will be 11/19. And then we're targeting beginning of December for that as well, keeping in mind the Thanksgiving week. If you are curious what we've been working on, we have the V010 project. It's been a lot of just community building and getting some of our tech debt figured out and taken care of. And then also this proposal around replacing the standalone cluster model with a different lighter weight model. So speaking of which, this is the standalone cluster proposal here. Please give this issue a read, look at the comments. Biggest thing really is we're trying to solve for a smaller single node, non-life-cycled cluster model. And speaking of which, I did want to give a quick demo, I guess, of some of the user experience stuff we've been working on, so I can let that fire off over here. But yeah, please give this a read, give it a look. Yeah, I guess, are there any questions on this right now or anything?
Yeah, I have one, John.
Sure.
One of the things that has been, obviously driving people crazy, especially if they haven't read and figured out that it doesn't work, is all the stuff around non-persistence of current standalone cluster. I want to be sure that
Sure.
we document, and I think we did for Windows, but not for others, what it takes with regard to Calico versus Antria,
Right.
and other considerations. That stuff is that if you follow the directions, you will get persistent standalones
Right.
right out of the box and get
Right.
rid of that element of surprise. So I think there's a little bit of polish on the doc in the subdirectory in the repo.
Right. So you're talking about this doc here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the README for the standalone.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. So
yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's good that you mentioned this doc. You can find this doc buried underneath in the CLI command plugin standalone cluster directory. I'll also drop a link to this in the hack markdown. It's on the standalone overhaul branch, so it's definitely buried in there. I'll drop a link, but this. Oh,
and maybe we should rename that directory to standalone.
Right.
So that we,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So definitely some sharp edges for sure. But this is a bit out of date. You can actually get the actual binaries in here, but even that is a little outdated from this user experience here. And yeah, it's a little rough right now, a little sharp edges, but yeah, I think all that feedback would be really good. And I think having that documented would be awesome. So so that cluster is up. You can see all that stuff is going. It takes about a minute or so. So yeah, that's kind of the quick demo for that.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I sounded excited when I said that.
It's very exciting. Yeah, we're really stoked. Please give it a try. Give us feedback. Any and all feedback in this proposal issue right here. I'll drop a link to this README file as well. I also wanted to give out some community shout outs just from an engineering perspective. There were a couple repos that I saw this week that were really cool. One from Preston, which is a bunch of scripts that they wrote for getting a vSphere home lab set up. I haven't actually gone through this yet, but really cool that we're seeing this with the community getting this set up for a home lab. Also, this one was from Scott. I don't know if Scott's on, Scott Rosenberg. But they've been working on getting some of the Bitnami Helm charts into packages. And this was an update with actual air-gapped environment support, which is also really, really cool. And then finally, I saw this one from Alexandre, if I'm saying that right. And this is a package repository that they created, which also has the Meta LB load balancer, which is really, really cool. So just awesome seeing the community support, and yeah, hack away, people. It's awesome. Make sure to drop it in the Slack, and as Nigel mentioned, that discussion thread in the community edition repo as well. Unless there's any questions, that's all I had.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more of the projects that you're making. And yeah, Slack can be a bit temporal, so we've got that whole show and tell area in the discussions. One more plug for you there. I wanted to pass it off to our developer advocates. I don't know if you all know, but we do have some developer advocates from VMware working on Tanzu Community Edition, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to you all and tell you a little bit about what they've got coming. So please take it away, Lee, Tiffany.
Yeah, hi friends, I'm Lee. I joined the team pretty recently. Tiffany's been with the team for a little bit longer. I don't know if you just want to say hi, Tiffany. Yeah, but yeah, we've been working on a lot of content, just getting super familiar, getting integrated with the community. And we're excited because, you know, in the next like 6 months or so, we're gonna be doing a lot of streams that involve Tanzu Community Edition, demos, hacking, you know, things that break, and pretty excited about that. We have some podcasts and collabs coming down the line too. We just pushed up a couple of guides on the Tanzu Development Center, Developer Center, sorry, as well. Things for Cert Manager and Cap Controller, as well as a YTT guide. Something notable is that our Cap Controller guide on the Tanzu Dev Center actually uses a Tanzu Community Edition package from the TCE repo. And so those things are useful, you know, kind of independently. And it's cool to see, you know, that the whole system is like modular. Go check out that guide. We are excited, you know, to be collaborating. Of course, you know, we're dev advocates from VMware, but there are a lot of people working in the community, whether like formally in advocacy or just doing cool stuff. Always looking for guest speakers and collaboration ops. So yeah, get in touch with us. You know, Tiffany and I are both on Twitter and in Slack, and you can send us a DM or whatever. Yeah, and yeah, Tiffany's got her Twitter handle in the background, Tiffany Faye J.
And if there's like any, and I'm sick, so I sound like a frog, don't mind me. But if there's like any events, like if you have meetups or conferences or things that you would like Tanzu Community Edition like spoken to in some way, or something that we could do with that, let us know how we can be involved, or if you want to maybe do some joint talks, etc., joint blogs, we would be happy to do things like that.
Lunch and learns, streams, you know, every Tuesday, we host Tanzu Tuesday on the VMware Tanzu Twitch channel. Go check that out. It's a good time, and we have some really cool software we can build some neat demos of platforms on. So all about the Tanzu community. Anyway, that's us. Come say hi. That's pretty much all we got. Nigel.
Awesome.
Unless anyone has got like, you know, questions or ideas or things like that.
Yeah, does anybody have any quick questions for advocacy?
I just did a quick search inside the Slack for TCE and on Twitch. I was looking for that link. Maybe you could drop it in there.
Oh yeah, you want the Twitch channel that we do Tanzu Tuesday on? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all one word. VMware Tanzu is the Twitch user that we stream that on.
So like one easy way to get to all of the things that we have is to go to tanzu.tv, and it'll have all the different things that we stream in general. And right now, a lot of those, like everything's going to Twitch, but some things are going to start moving over to YouTube, etc. But the Twitch is just like twitch.tv/VMware Tanzu. But the easiest again is to just go to tanzu.tv and see all the different things that we're doing as streams.
Cool.
Yeah, just drop those into the HackMD agenda doc as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Lee and Tiffany. Thanks for the question, Chris. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to ask of our advocates or of our engineering team or of me about any of the other things up above? It's like we're running well ahead of schedule today. I was a little bit worried with our packed agenda that we would not have time to get to everything, but it seems like we have. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, we'll hold the beat for that.
If one more time, if you can mention, what's that search string again for Twitch?
The
Yeah,
links are
where
in the
Tanzu.
HackMD.
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
that. Oh, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah, VMware
Tanzu.tv.
and
oh, okay. Right. All right. So this, okay, focus follows on Twitch. Thank you. So
Awesome.
many channels.
Yeah. Did anybody
You know, really
else?
cool things happen inside the Slack chat. I'm sorry, in the Zoom chat. And I'm thinking it would be great if we just start up a Slack for our meetings every time we do this so that it persists. That's the key here. You kill Zoom, the Zoom chat goes away, and then somebody has to recover that if they can.
yeah, we can just drop a link to the Slack channel. in
Yeah,
the Zoom
yeah.
chat.
I mean, it does imply that folks joining this meeting also have to jump through those initial hoops of getting their Slack community set up, which should happen if you want to be a part of this community discussion anyways. But then, you know, it's all persisting. And if we talk about a link or this or that during this meeting, it appears in the Slack instead. We follow that and it persists.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm not sure if we can do that in the Kubernetes Slack, or we would need to do it in the VMware code Slack.
No, we can kick off a thread in the Kubernetes Slack channel
A
for
thread,
every,
yeah.
for every meeting that we have. I will add that as an action item for myself,
Yep.
Chris. Every time it'll come right after we have the announcement message, that bot that creates that announcement that we're gonna have a meeting.
Yeah.
I'll go in and make a thread, and then we can put the chats there.
Yeah, and we should keep a link to that for folks who are joining just now, right at the top of every, you know, meeting agenda, so that they can hit that and go, right?
That's a really great idea. Thank you, Chris. I'll be sure to get that going. Do we have any other questions or feedback or thoughts that folks want to share?
I've been chasing down a problem that I'm experiencing with CapD and WSL2 with like a, you know, custom built kernel through like all the Windows instructions. And if anyone wants to pair on it, or just hang out or something. The issue is that once the workload cluster comes up, after Entrea bootstraps, then the cluster just has all of its pods terminated. Pretty interesting. So, like,
if you want to start
kernel logs and stuff. Yeah. What's up, Nigel?
If you want to start a thread in the Kubernetes Slack channel, and then set up a sync meeting there, send a Zoom link there. I'm sure some folks will be happy to join and pair with you. And next week on office hours, if you haven't had this resolved yet, then that'll be a really great place to troubleshoot the bug and do some live figuring it out with the maintainers about what's going on.
Yeah, I figured that once I can like figure out just have the whole story for all the logs, you can open up an issue and then try to fix it. But yeah, just while we're almost in real life together, I figured that I would mention that it's something that I'm kind of toying with.
Of course. Thank you so much.
It looks like if you tag Scott in the thread in Kubernetes Slack, he's done it a couple times and volunteered that over in the Zoom.
Sweet.
Thanks, Scott. We very much appreciate you and your contributions. Well, I'm very happy to give you all some time back. Just quick reminders, 11/24, there will be no office hours. And yeah, we appreciate all of your involvement, and we want to make sure that we're keeping track of it and appropriately celebrating you for it. So if you want to engage with us, there are some suggestions there in the HackMD page. We will see you next week for our office hours at this time. Hopefully all of the calendar invites are correct now. We've moved the time If you're having any issues with your calendars, please reach out to me personally. I will fix it. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week. Take care, y'all. Bye.